Hello and welcome. My name's Dr. Ray. I'm from Dr. Ray's English. I'm sometimes called the IELTS Terminator. I do specialist lessons in general English, business English, but most specifically in IELTS. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a course that you can take that's specifically targeted for IELTS speaking tests. The whole world is speaking IELTS. But do you? Are you concerned about your ability in the IELTS speaking exam? I guess you must be, or you wouldn't be here. Okay, let me tell you, without specialist training, you should be concerned, because this is a rather difficult exam. However, if you know the strategies, you can do very well. It doesn't require a huge vocabulary. It requires you to know what the strategies are. Like I said, I'm sometimes called the IELTS Terminator, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Now, without specialist training, you should be afraid of the IELTS tests, but I can help you. You don't have time to go to classes? I can help you with that. You want to learn the specialist tactics the IELTS examiner looks for? The ones that get a good score? Yes, right. I can help you with that. Want the best possible score? I can help you. Want to study in the comfort of your own home? I can help you. At the pace that suits you? I can help you. At a price that is a fraction of what you might expect? Yes, I can help you. How, you say, can you help me? I've been to lots of classes, wasted my time and my money, and nobody showed me how to get a good score. Well, they don't call me the IELTS Terminator for no reason. You take IELTS classes with me, you won't be back, because you will score very well the first time. Don't believe me? That's okay, I don't expect you to. But here are some references and testimonials from people who succeeded using my methods. There's plenty of them. I'll just show you a few. Okay, Alexei Glavinsky from Siberia. Look at his score. This gentleman was at a pre-intermediate level of English. Look at his score. Overall, 6. He got the promotion he wanted. What about this lady, Alyanjini from Russia? I think that Ray is a unique teacher, because for a teacher it's quite difficult to build contact with students in a real studying process, and it's much more difficult to create it through the internet. However, Ray does it from the first lesson, and then you wait for the next encounter like a meeting with a good friend. In addition, I feel that he was interested in my good result of IELTS, and this teacher gave me as much knowledge as possible. By the way, this lady scored very well. What about this guy? Was looking for a job in New Zealand, lived in Russia. Hi Ray, thank you for your lessons. I am in New Zealand for 4 months and I got a job within 1 week in March. Now I live and work in Auckland. Wow, success story. How about this lady from China? In my opinion, Mr. Ray is the expert teacher for teaching IELTS. In his class, I never get bored. Unconsciously, my English had greatly improved in every pleasant conversation. When we had class, he would always listen very patiently, and then he promptly told me every flaw, and gave me some highly targeted text. Let me practice them. This is the reason why my English rapidly improved in a short time. So I am grateful to Mr. Ray. He is definitely the best English teacher I have ever seen. What about this young lady from Vietnam? Without your instruction, I could never have managed the time spent for each part, especially when the second reading test is much more difficult than the first. Once again, thank you so much. Look at that score, 7. It was her first attempt. Really, it was an amazing class today where I felt confident in speaking. I appreciate your help and guidance. God bless you. This is from a lady in Vladivostok. And here, from Ilyana Skrebnevya. Of course she's Russian. I took a course in IELTS strategies with Dr. Raymond Connors, and I was very pleased with the style of instruction and his easygoing manner. I scored overall a band score of 8 using the techniques I learned, and I'm very happy with that. I recommend Dr. Ray if you want to prepare yourself for this difficult exam. Thank you very much, Dr. Ray. God bless you. Wow. And I can help you too. Here's how it works. The course involves 20 specifically targeted lessons on IELTS speaking. They are all pre-recorded. You watch, you interact, and you learn. You can take each lesson over and over until you are expert at it. Then move on to the next one. There is no pressure. This is at your pace. You're the boss. Each lesson runs for only 15 minutes. But with your interaction, it takes more like 45 minutes per lesson. So what's in the lessons? Lots. Let's take a look at the lesson content from 1 to 20. Quickly, of course. Okay, lesson 1 is all about expressing opinions. You learn the language that is needed in part 1 of the exam to give your opinions on a variety of topics. And we practice the vocabulary with some exercises. In lesson 2, we talk about time fillers. You learn the techniques so necessary in parts 1 and 3 of using good English expressions to buy time while you think about your answers. No more Instead, a sophisticated, well-rehearsed conversation. In lesson 3, we talk about requesting clarification. How to ask the examiner to explain the question in a better way, without you being penalized and losing marks. No chance of answering the wrong question, and that is a disaster. In lesson number 4, we use connectors. We say bye-bye baby English, hello adult English. How to use sophisticated language to connect English thoughts so you move out of the baby English stage and score well on parts 1, 2 and 3 because you are showing advanced English by using connectors. And lesson 5 focuses on part 2 of the IELTS exam, particularly with the vocabulary to do with cooking and food. How to use vocabulary relating to cooking and food, a popular topic for parts 2 and 3 of the IELTS speaking exam. Plus, in this lesson, you will learn how to plan your talk for part 2 so that you get absolutely the best possible score. In lesson 6, focuses on part 2 of the IELTS speaking exam, describing people. Let me tell you, this is a very hot topic for IELTS speaking in part 2. Here we practice the questions for part 2 and part 3, plus there is interactive vocabulary building exercises. Here is an example. Think about your friends or acquaintances. This is just part of this exam. Can you describe some of them using the vocabulary we just learned? Here we have a look at matching the adjectives on the left with the opposites on the right. And I encourage you to write them in a vocabulary book. And after you've tried them, we check out the answers. What are the opposites of the words on the left? You see how simple this is? With your ability to pause video at any time, you can review this as often as you like. In lesson 7, we focus again on part 2 of the speaking test, which is really the most difficult part of the whole IELTS test. And we learn the vocabulary to talk about a TV show. The vocabulary exercises plus part 2 practice. And part 3 questions practice also. For example, how many different types of TV show can you think of? Continue the list below. Have a look at these pictures. Decide which vocabulary goes with which picture. And in Lesson 8, we talk about the topic movies and films. In Lesson 9, we talk about a special event like a birthday, a wedding, etc. And the next lesson, in Lesson 10, we talk about going to a restaurant. All these things are hot topics for Part 2 in the IELTS speaking exam. In Lesson 11, we talk about the vocabulary that's needed to talk about books. In Lesson 12, we talk about what's needed to talk about hobbies. For example, have a look at this. This is just part of the lesson. How many different hobbies and activities can you think of? Continue this list below. For example, cooking, jogging, knitting, collecting stamps, gardening, and playing board games. This is just part of the vocabulary building that goes with each lesson. How about extra vocabulary for hobbies or sports? Hiking in the mountains, listening to music, reading, watching TV, bird watching, travelling, and a lot more. You will be very confident about talking about each of these topics. Lesson 13, using other words, focusing on parts 1, 2, and 3. For example, how to use synonyms and alternative words, and especially when you are not sure of a word, how to describe what you want without actually using that word. In Lesson 14, we talk about photographs. Very hot topic. Very often the examiner will ask you questions like, describe a photograph that you really like. Talk about when you took it, who was in the photograph, where you took it, why you like it, and where it is now. Things like that. In Lesson 15, we talk about buildings. In Lesson 16, we talk about travel. Very relevant to Parts 2 and 3 of the speaking exam, as all of these are. And in Lesson 17, we'll talk about letters and emails and focus on Parts 2 and 3 of the speaking exam. In Lesson 18, we'll talk about the weather. For example, match the pictures with the vocabulary. And here you can pause the video when you're taking the lesson, try the exercise, come back and check that you are right. By the way, there is audio in every lesson. You are never left alone in silence to do this like it was a book. In Lesson 19, we'll talk about sports and games. And in Lesson 20, the very last one, we will talk about possessions, what we own. A total course to make you competent in handling the IELTS speaking exam with great confidence. Okay, you said at a good price. How much is that good price? At a language centre, you'll pay approximately $800 for a full course in elementary IELTS. Then you will need more lessons to bring up your score. To get a score of about 7, you will take 2 or 3 courses at $800 each. That's $2,100. That's a waste of money. So, this course will cost you not $2,400, not even $1,200, not even $500. It will cost you, it's not free. But this course will cost you, for 20 specifically targeted lessons, studied in the comfort of your own home, at your own pace, only $75. That's right, only $75. So, what do you do now if you want to know more? You get back to the person who showed you this chance to get a great IELTS score with a professional IELTS expert at an unbelievable price. Your friend who showed you this will be able to help you get onto this course and get started. So, make a decision today. Do something to change your life. Thank you, and I will see you in the classes.